On the show today, Lakers trade targets not named Kyrie Irving. Before we take a look at that list, subscribe to the channel for the best Lakers coverage here on YouTube. 148 people left to 48,000 subs, and after that, 50K right around the corner. Let's get it. You're watching the Lakers Report by Chat Sports. Chase Sr. here with you. As I mentioned off the top, today's show taking a look at some trade targets for the Lakers, not named Kyrie Irving. We're going to switch things up to a certain degree. We have really talked about Kyrie Irving so much because, honestly, it's one of the biggest storylines in the NBA, especially with the Lakers' interest in him, given the name value and the power of the Lakers brand. But there's some other players out there who could get dealt and, in turn, help this Lakers roster. So we begin with Buddy Hield, another player who we've talked about somewhat frequently. He would help the Lakers in a couple of areas with the three-point shooting. You look at what the Lakers roster was able to do last year, sub 35% from beyond the arc, 22nd in the NBA. Lost Malik Monk, which is a huge loss for them. I don't think they're going to bring back Carmelo Anthony, and Avery Bradley isn't a legitimate three-point threat. Buddy Hield is. The worst year that he's ever had was this past year while playing with Sacramento. I think he got frustrated with the circumstances there, but when he went to Indiana, played a lot better, and the production went up a couple of notches during his career, nearly 40% from deep in 6 seasons, well above league average. As for our trade idea, we have a couple of these cooked up, but this isn't really a trade idea type of show, but we wanted to put one together for Buddy Hield. Pacers receive Talen, Horton-Tucker, Kendrick, Nunn, Stanley, Johnson, that 2027 first-round pick, which is lottery protected. Now, you look at the player assets there, not a lot to get the needle moving for Buddy Hield, but the first-round pick in 2027 is valuable for a team like Indiana, whose future is somewhat in question in terms of stacking up wins. Now, if you bring in Buddy Hield, it takes Lonnie Walker out of the starting 5, which I think is ideal for LA. I think he's better suited to come in off the bench, and I've said about Lonnie Walker, I think he can be a better player than what he's displayed, but you put in Buddy Hield into the starting lineup, and it improves twofold, and maybe takes some pressure off Russell Westbrook, hopefully, with the tutelage of Darvin Ham. He dishes the basketball more often. He's more comfortable playing off ball from LeBron James, who can also run point, and for those reasons, got a lot of flexibility in this starting 5. Now, this is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, use it to your advantage, scroll on down and get your votes in. Name a player you want the Lakers to trade for, not named Kyrie Irving. Drop me a name in the comment section right now. Number 2. Colin Sexton, a player who I really like, and frankly, I think he's underrated. I cannot believe that up to this point, other teams outside of Cleveland really haven't shown a lot of interest in Sexton, who in year 2 averaged around 24 points per game. The same can be said for year 3, and is coming off an injury-shortened season from a year ago. The Lakers were linked to Sexton loosely this past offseason, landing him only doable by a sign-in trade because he's a restricted free agent. But this guy can really play. I just alluded to the numbers. You look at them more specifically here. Throughout his career, first-round pick out of Alabama. I think he's a little bit better than a player like De'Aaron Fox, maybe a right-handed version who I think is a little bit more consistent. And from year 1, he displayed some really good offensive skills. Production goes up in year 2, even better in year 3. 24 points per game on 47 and 37 from the floor. Pretty good shooting splits and production right there, and I'm not looking at what he did last year at all in 11 games played because of that knee injury. Another trade idea, cooked one up for Buddy Hield. Here's a trade idea for Colin Sexton because we here at Chat Sports, that's how our mind works, baby. Cavaliers receive THT, Kendrick Nunn, a 2029 first-round pick, which is top 10 protected as compared to the 2027 first. That's lottery protected in that previous deal. So another deal that I think is somewhat doable. Sometimes you hop into the trade machine and people get carried away with these deals that can honestly never happen, but never say never given the craziness that we've seen transpire in the NBA and in the NFL. Now make sure you subscribe to the channel. If the Lakers make a move, if they make a trade, a signing, we'll be the first ones to let you know. But also while you're at it, make sure you turn on those notifications. Right now closing in on 48,000 subs. And the percentage of people who have their notifications on sub 14%. Let's get that up to like 20%, folks. All you got to do is hit that bell icon. And as we always do here at Chat Sports, we're going to simplify it all for you. You go to the settings app on your phone, you scroll down, you tap YouTube, you tap notifications, and then you turn on allow notifications. Therefore, when we publish a video, you'll be notified, and in the process, you will be educated on what's going down with the purple and gold. Monday's first 5 commenters, we also want to give you a shout out for that. LeBron Chance is literally one of the first people to always comment on our shows. That's awesome. Love to see it. Appreciate your support. Brand new So Comedy, Baby Cakes 420, Light Up That Green, Ken Wooten, and Sammy Rice. Appreciate you guys for subscribing to the channel and having those notifications on. Be like these 5 people and get those notices on by hitting that bell icon. Harrison Barnes, a player who I really like for his two-way ability. And for a little while, I was saying that Andrew Wiggins for the Warriors kind of reminded me a little bit of Harrison Barnes. Athletic, can defend, can shoot the three-pointer, and is better suited as a guy who's not going to be the number 1 option. He's not going to be the star player, but that's fine, especially on a roster like this. Harrison Barnes with the Kings over the last 3 years, their production has been really impressive. 15.5 points per game, sub-6 boards, 47% from the deck, and I think a lot of people watch Harrison Barnes, and maybe they tune in during a cold streak, and they're like, man, this guy isn't a three-point shooter, but the numbers prove otherwise, folks. 39% from downtown on 4 attempts per game over the last 3 years. So that's a long enough sample size to show you that what he's done in Sacramento, what he did in Dallas, what he did with the Golden State Warriors, pretty impressive. And I think that he can fulfill for the Lakers the similar role that Andrew Wiggins had with the Golden State Warriors. Wiggins throughout the NBA Finals was the second best player on that team outside of Steph Curry, in my opinion, especially his two-way ability and how he locked down Jason Tatum. And for Harrison Barnes, you already have LeBron James, Anthony Davis. He's your third option. That's pretty damn good. And I understand Russell Westbrook may still be on that roster. OG Anunoby, one of the young emerging two-way threats in this league who year in, year out continues to get a lot better, especially offensively. Anunoby is a stud. Length, athleticism, defensive ability is just extraordinary and out of this world. Offensively, started to add a lot more to his toolbox over time, and if he can be about a 17-point-per-game guy who knocks down between 37 and 40% of his three-point shots, then that's awesome. You look at his production the last 2 years as compared to his first 3 years in the NBA, and you see the improvements take place in a very Jaylen Brown type of way. And can OG Anunoby take that further step to get into that Jaylen Brown territory this upcoming year and average around 20 points per game? I think the work ethic is there, the game is there, and I know for a fact the athletic qualities are there. Would this roster make the playoffs? Let me know in the comment section right now. A lot of people are down on the Lake Show, and they have a lot of work left to do, but either way, give me a Y for yes and for no. Let me know what you think. Last trade target to get to here, Myles Turner. Now, according to reports, we covered this back on Monday. He would be open to a trade with the Lakers, and who wouldn't be? You go from Indiana to Los Angeles. Like, that's an upgrade in living, even though you're going to be paying a lot more with your property and your state income tax. But playing for the Lakers over the Indiana Pacers and playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that's got to be appealing to Myles Turner. The Lakers really lacked rim protection last year. And you go back to the bubble season, they had that in the front court. They didn't have it last year. Arguably, they didn't have it 2 years ago, especially when Anthony Davis got hurt in that playoff series against Phoenix. So when Anthony Davis was sidelined last year, the Lakers were just a bad defensive team, especially with their rim protection. And Myles Turner, he's led the NBA in blocks 3 out of the last 4 years. Everybody wants to talk about and glow up Rudy Gobert and say that he's the best shot blocker, but Myles Turner has led the league in blocks 3 of the last 4 years. Nearly 3 last year, 3.5 the year before that, 2018-19, nearly 3. Anything over 1.5 is a very, very good number. So which trade target would you want the Lakers to target the most outside of Kyrie Irving? BH for Buddy, CS for Colin Sexton, HB for Harrison Barnes, OG for the OG Anunoby, or MT for Myles Turner. Get those votes into the comment section. And before we get out of here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's youtube.com/LakersTV. Appreciate all of you for supporting everything that we do. It makes our jobs that much more fun, and we're going to continue to keep it humming.